IAXIS Radio, the future of radio and podcast. No limit to what we do.
IAXISRADIO, WIAX, the future of radio and podcast. No limit to what we do.
Just to remind you, each and every Wednesday, 6 p.m. to 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, tune in to the X-Tremitiez ENT talk show on IAXISRADIO. That's right, we on the free radio app as well as the 365 Live. That's right, Roku, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, Apple TV, Roku TV, Fire Stick. That's right, tune in worldwide. Davon Franklin, Jose Rivera. Keep it tuned.
Good evening, everyone. This is Senator Natalia Fernandez, and you are listening to X-Tremitiez ENT Talk Show, and we're on IAXISRADIO.com.
New York, Jersey, Delaware, Philly, Maryland, going out Washington. You know what I'm saying? North Carolina, South Carolina. Check all those wannabes with those type of gimmicks. Posing on their joint like they in it to win. Broke is a joke with jewels on their neck. 50 cents from a quarter with mad respect. Signing autographs, need $1 for coffee. I'm wetting dope. So like, hey, you can back up off me. You don't get gas for everything you see. Cause everybody's not paid in this industry. Some don't even have a genie on TV. Before that, I set up shop in that seat. See a sign for a man. Forget a record deal. Cause that and thank God I'm wetting $1 bill. MC's going out for the loot. Don't stop getting to. MC's going out for the loot. Don't stop getting to. I wouldn't know so much. I'm out of ways to make it. But if I can't make it, I'm out of ways to take it. I might be wrong for taking part in robberies or breaking and entering for mere jewels and TVs. Hitting drug dealers in me hair for the way. Never in New York or my fees was out of state. Ain't no fame for living life here in these times. That's why I say fuck and go for mine. Cause even though they got fame, they still nickel and dime. Fame material don't necessary. They got bad brothers laying in the cemetery. It's real like that. MC's going out for the loot. Don't stop getting to. Real MC's going out for the loot. Don't stop getting to. Real MC's going out for the loot. Don't stop getting to. Real MC's going out for the loot. Don't stop getting to. Real MC's. I got you floating off the dopeness. You can't quote this, so let your mind intertwine and get filled with smoke. Why do folks take this here for a game? I don't know, but they learn when it blows. I'm afraid I'm into mine. Hold snuff misery. It only can be freed by positivity. So out of my incest. Rude boy, keep it real all day. I'm obsessed. Don't stop, nevertheless. Real MC's going out for the loot. Don't stop getting to. Real MC's going out for the loot. Don't stop getting to. Real MC's going out for the loot. Don't stop getting to. Real MC's going out for the loot. Don't stop getting to.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the X-Tremitiez
ENT
Talk Show on IAXISRADIO, going live worldwide. Yo, Davon.
Yo, what's going on?
Ain't we on the 365 Live?
Yes, we are.
Ain't we on the Roku?
Yes, we are.
Fire Stick?
Yes, we are.
Legal, illegal?
Right.
And we on the internet, cell phones, PCs, laptops, anything that has a beep, 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 beep. That's all, folks.
Right.
You already know. The greatest guys up in the sky, Them dudes that do what they do. We give you everything exclusive, debuted here worldwide, only on our Access Radio. It's Davon Franklin,
Jose Rivera.
my brother.
What's going on with you, man?
Eventful weekend.
Yeah, it was. Actually, it was. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to everybody at the Yonkers Day Puerto Rican Day Parade Festival.
And then the Harlem Day Parade Festival.
Yeah.
In Barrio.
Yeah.
Mark Rain.
Right.
PR Strong.
Mm-hmm.
La Bruja. That
Right.
said her great, speech and poetry.
Right.
Many political people that were there for, the issues that Puerto Rico is now facing.
Right.
They're even trying to kill our national icon, the coqui.
Mm.
If anybody knows what the coqui is, it's a unique frog that only lives in dirt and land. It cannot survive in water, and it cannot leave the island.
Well, I actually just recently heard. I saw something, whatever have you. Now I have to do a little more research on it. Where they're saying that the UK is actually pressuring Trump to give Puerto Rico like a certain amount of money to help them become a their own sovereign state, sovereign nation, or whatever have you not. So,
but you know why is that? It's because Puerto Rico, even though we're a commonwealth, just like Boston, just like Pennsylvania, a commonwealth, right? Virginia, right? We can't vote for the president.
Mm.
They can't.
Oh.
When I went over there, and I'm seeing that the governor has like maximum out control on certain things. And I'm like, but wait a minute. Don't you people have in the Senate? Don't you have people representing over there in the House of Representatives? They're like, you guys can't vote for the president. I was like, what? I was like, what? That's crazy. We've been in basically every world war on the front lines. That's what the Borinqueniers are all about. Their story.
I didn't know that because I could have sworn that they did, but I don't know.
But, and please, ladies and gentlemen, Google it. Look it up, Borinqueniers. These guys used to catch the grenades and throw them back and fight with bayonets when they were out with bullets. And because they had this crazy stuff that's why these gringos back in the days used to call them savages.
Mm.
They were like, these people fight like savages. They don't just fight civilized, where you just shoot and then reload to shoot. Nah, we killing you with everything. That's what it was.
Right.
But, shout out to everybody out there that's continuing the revolution in an appropriate manner. We come a long way from the macheteros trying to go to Washington and just, use the machetes to go at the president. That's how deep it's gotten. And, there was about 7 individuals, 1 female, 6 guys. They all passed away. But just the fact that they set a mark and saying independence is what we need, not for you to come and try to kill us, do the ethnic cleansing.
Right.
Because, it's sad. My brother, you already know Trent, Food for Thought. Yeah. Be sure to tune in to Food for Thought on YouTube. My brother's doing big things. He did great things at the Barrio Parade.
Yeah, I like to send a shout out to my son Elijah for coming out there with me and taking those good pictures and shit like that. So yeah.
So Elijah did a great job. I asked him what was his IG and all that because there was a couple of shots that we took together, with Lacey.
Yeah.
And inside the El Barrio art space.
Yeah.
And I just naturally love your son because he's your son, but because he's smart. Yeah. He's extremely smart and he doesn't stay quiet. Yeah. He expresses himself, and that's what we need. We need expression. But I love the way he articulates and he actually grabs your attention, and that's something to be appreciated. So shout out to you, my brother. You did a great job with us.
Sorry.
Shout out to like you said, the Yonkers Day Parade.
Yeah. That was a massive turn. That was a great turnout. I enjoyed that shit. Like,
it's about 5,000 people out there, right?
I don't know.
Just in the festival.
I don't know how many, but it was a lot. It was a lot.
And then plus the marchers and everybody else.
Yeah, but next time you vendors, man, y'all, I went there, man. I took off. I had to take off to go get me to go get some food locally. Cause homie told me, little shish kebab, $20. I'm like, you didn't even offer me no bread or any drink to go with it, man.
What?
A shish kebab.
Just a shish kebab.
Just
you didn't tell me there was no bread,
no
drink.
No bread, no drink, no chips, no nothing. Just a shish kebab. Like $20? You lost your rabbit, man. I'm out. So nah. But so do better next time, man. But yeah, other than that, it was a great event, man.
The Bubba just told me on IG. He says I look like the Puerto Rican Steven Seagal. Already getting it happen, and then he's gonna say free Diddy.
Yeah.
But Diddy just keeps getting dabbed. There's no other way of putting it. Now they, even though, if a girl goes from state to state, I didn't know that they considered that as trafficking.
That's why R. Kelly's locked up right now.
The girls went willingly from state to state. It wasn't like he forced them.
Yeah.
It was the activities that happened inside the home that made people, hey, what's going on, K-Rod? Keep doing your thing as well. All right, Bronx Puerto Rican Day Parade. Be sure to be out there on June 14th. You already know. We got some great talent that we've been promoting. They're doing great jobs. But Casey is getting cross-examined by Cassie, is getting cross-examined by the prosecution and put in a hole pretty deep because they're saying, okay, you're saying he did all this and that, and the video says this and that. But didn't you say that Jay-Z's already taken? So who else you gonna get with? Bam! They was like, what? And that was the top security that got fired by Diddy, who came back in his defense, even though they got fired by him. Okay? And then you got other people that are speaking against other artists, which is, entertainment, I guess. But what I want to speak about entertainment is Denzel Washington. He continues to rock Broadway.
Oh, okay.
Okay. Othello is, even though it's like $5,000 a ticket, and George Clooney came out with his own play, which only lasted like 3 weeks, and they did like 100 million quick. But what I love about Jake Gyllenhaal working with Denzel is that Jake Gyllenhaal said, I would never have imagined in any lifetime me working with the great Denzel. And he says everyone sees him as, this actor, but he is so smart and so talented. And he educates me on life. I watched the Sunday morning show on Channel 2 CBS every Sundays.
Right.
And that's not a plug. It's just educational, and they show everything that people don't know that's coming out. It gives you like a month in advance on what to look out for, festivals, like taxes that are coming in by the government, different things that we're not privy to.
Right.
I like watching that. Of course, Jane, she's like 80 years old, but I love her because she's one of the people that inspired me to do this thing that we do, media.
Right.
She interviewed people like Fidel Castro, the guy that had the marks of Russia, the Russian president, Gorbachev. She has some like great, even this guy from Yemen, Jesus Christ, years ago, from Palestine, that they exiled him. Arafat. She had those interviews.
Right.
And to see someone like get the opportunity to get the real facts, not to get it from everybody else, but to actually go and be a woman at that time.
Right.
Because remember, women in those days, they barely get any power to do anything. This individual was able to do this. So shout out to the Sunday morning show, because I appreciate the education and the ongoing information that you give. And those who want to watch it, I encourage you to, because Trump and his administration got rid of NPR, National Broadcast and Radio, which was free to the public, and they depended on public funds.
That's it.
So
was it both NPR and PBS?
There you go.
Oh, there you both of them.
Yeah, both of them. And Sesame Street survived, even though they got rid of Elmo.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, they fired Elmo. Now Elmo's on the corner slinging. You know what I mean? Talk about, laughing, and they thinking that it's a joke, but it's not. He's just nervous as hell because he don't know what's going to happen next. He don't even got a hand in him.
Man, I tell you what, man, a lot they had a lot of good educational programs that I used to sit there and enjoy watching. Even like certain guests that they would put on under the guys. I think was it Charlie Rose that would be on.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? It's just like various different. I think Tavis Smiley was on PBS at one point in time.
Yeah.
Or whatever. I mean, there was a lot of different. Along with regular programming, very educational. So I think that's a blow. NPR as well. So you know what I'm saying.
So that's why they tune into us, to the Extremities ENT talk show on our Access Radio, where they get the information, because people pay for information. But we're here,
we're relaying we're relaying information that we get from other sources. So you know what I'm saying. We just try to make sure,
and we fact check it. We just don't speak.
Make sure we try to make sure that the sources that we get our information from is solid. But a lot of the stuff that I myself personally, I can't speak for everybody, but just theories and ideas behind certain storylines that are actually placed out in front of us. So don't mind me when I get into babbling and talking shit. So you know what I'm saying, that's just my mind going to work about the subject matter at hand. So continue, my man.
So the next couple of days is going to be a heat wave, as you noticed yesterday and today.
Nice.
I actually went running yesterday and I took a picture of the sun. It was orange, orange red. It looked beautiful. But that's only because of the UV rays. Please put on lotion. Please protect your skin. I don't care where you are. Be careful, because if you're out too long in the sun, you're going to get sick. All right? This is a real thing, along with everything else that's up in the air.
I'll log in shortly.
All right. Shout out to Billy. The sports, the Yankees are doing okay, but the Mets are still like the Jets. And the Knicks got knocked out, but after 25 years, they made it this far. So we got to give them a round of applause, even though they fired their head coach after 5 years. And there's a lot of criticisms on both sides, but guess what? The NBA has turned like the NFL. It's all business, just like the MLB. So you got to understand that these billionaires, they expect you to bring a championship within the first 5 years. If you don't do that, they get rid of you. That's the way business is, because they all adapted the Trump way. So understand that the art of business is not really the art of war. You got to play chess, not checkers.
You're giving Trump too much credit.
No, I'm not giving him credit. I'm just telling you.
Adopted the Trump way.
They did.
That's Wall Street. That's
No. A lot of these friends of his, just like the Texas owner of the Cowboys, that's his right-hand man. You know what I'm saying? And look, when he was in his first administration, didn't he get that big-ass stadium? Now he's back in. Texas is about to get some new taxes and all tax breaks that only the owner of the Cowboys is going to benefit, but everybody else in Texas is going to lose. You know what I mean? And Trump, we're already on to you. We see what you're doing. You got rid of Elon Trump. Elon Trump. You got rid of Elon because he got the whack on the eye, because the last person to get that was John McCain when Bush was in. And if you look at different administrations and you see somebody boasting about a president, then they turn on the president, they get this mark on their right eye. I'm telling you this. Look in the history. Type in right eye. I guarantee you. I'm telling you this because I've observed this in my lifetime. I didn't look this up in Google, but I'm telling you to look it up in Google. And you're going to see certain people, presidents, even vice presidents, and congressional leaders that end up with this after they turn against the elite. The elite being, you know that the president is only just a puppet. There's a bigger and badder entity that runs the world.
I think Elon left out of there because that shit, him being there, was hurting his business, his bottom line. His name is dirt right now as far as selling like his products.
But he got rid of everybody that was against him. He cut all the jobs.
That doesn't matter. You're in the buying and selling business, like, you know what I'm saying. So his thing is out there, is putting his products out there for people to actually buy into and purchase. Nobody's going after the shit that he did, after this fiasco up here with Trump. He ain't gonna have too many people. That's
see what he said when they asked him what happened. He said it was his son, but then later on it came out that one of Trump's aides had a shoving match with him because Doge made promises that they were going to bring in up to $3 trillion, right? and they only reached about 4 billion.
I kind of figured he got punched in the face. That's why. I mean, that wasn't really rocket science. It looked like it was healing from somebody probably got quick snuff in right there. Like, you know what I'm saying? It was in the healing process, so it must have happened a few days ago.
So speaking about entertainment, now we're getting into what we experienced on the weekend and what we're gonna do on June 14th on the Grand Concourse. Okay. Right, but before that, there's another event. It's a major event for hip hop. Oh, and there's a certain individual that I've always admired since the days that he came out selling CDs out of his trunk. Okay, and he was on the Arsenio Hall show. Okay, all right, and then he was on the Sinbad show. Okay, people don't remember Sinbad show too much, but Sinbad was pretty big. And then this guy started making a lot of moves, but legit. And then he started changing a lot of people around him, even Snoop Dogg, to change the mindset and go legit. This guy here has a son that when he was on MTV Cribs, he came from the top of the house to the bottom of the house, racing his son going down a hill, in a race car, when this guy came from poverty. All right? The individual we have coming on manages this individual. This guy is a multi-billionaire. People think he's a millionaire, but he owned basketball team. He actually played.
He's a cool dude, though.
He's a cool dude. He's very intelligent, and I appreciate the fact that he raised his son the way a man should raise a child. Because he told him, you ain't getting none of this. You got to get straight A's. All right? And for someone to have that mindset, they have to have a manager with a stronger, if not reinforcement to that mindset. So, the person that we're about to have come on right now is not only a motivational speaker, is not only a person that changes lives. This person masters certain areas of employment that people only dream of getting. And this individual got their first million at the age of 27. Ladies and gentlemen, please help us in welcoming the superstar, phenomenal individual, female herself, Taina Vaughn Johnson.
It's Tiana, but it's all good. It's all good. I get a lot of mix of my name. It's all good.
How are you?
Y'all could actually just call me T. See, that's easy.
How are you?
I'm doing wonderful. We are right in the middle of an amazing production with the legend himself, Master P. So I'm just on fire. I'm excited and happy to be with you guys.
So before we get into, how you got to where you are right now, please allow, the world to know who you are, where you started, and where you're going.
Oh, absolutely. So just a girl from the Bronx who decided to go for it. So BX stands up. And really just having a dream. I tell people all the time, I was born with a lion mentality. And so even though I was born with this lion mentality, I was surrounded by what I like to call a world full of zebras. And what the zebras are individuals who they just think a little bit different than the lions like myself. They are individuals who kind of are going through life just kind of on this normal course, whereas us lions, we have a different kind of mindset or a different kind of course. We see life a little bit differently. So I was that person from a very, very young age, and decided to go for it. I did start off as a zebra, though. I did all the normal things like going to school, getting a good job, and there's nothing wrong with that, right? So there's some zebra traits that are great. Like going to school, like getting a good job, but then what else? So I was just that young girl who worked with my father selling records on 125th Street in Harlem, learning how to negotiate, learning how to do business. I would say raw business on the streets. And by the time I was about 20 years old, I got my bachelor's. By the time I was 21, got my master's. By the time I was 22, I was applying for my doctorate degree. But so I was doing all the normal things, but working a 9-to-5, y'all, it just wasn't really for this lion, right? There was something far greater that I knew that I had, that I wanted to show the world in a big way. So even though I was going down that road of working and doing all the traditional things, by the time I was 25, 26 years old, I was like, yeah, this is not for me. And I quit my 9-to-5 job, tried my hand at entrepreneurship. And just 1 year later, as you said, I was able to generate my first $1 million.
So, you know what? The rundown you just gave, just on the age and education, and then coming from the Bronx, and then being a female of color, and then being, put in situations where you could have just made a left instead of staying right.
Absolutely.
What kept you on that path?
You know what it is, and I don't know if anybody can relate to this. When I look at, being from the Bronx, when I look at poverty disgusts me, right? Lack disgusts me. Broke disgusts me. Not even living in a certain type of home bothers me, right? And I've been like that for a long time, and I've had both sides. I've done welfare, food stamps, Section 8 with my mom, begging folks for money so we can eat. I've been there, putting my hoodie on to go to the welfare office to renew with my mom. I've had both sides, and I don't like it there. I don't like it there. So when you're young and you're growing up and you're watching TV, I'll use TV for example, and you're looking at, let's say, Lifestyle of the Rich and Famous. You're looking at MTV Cribs, and I'm talking about when we were younger.
Yeah.
From my perspective, and I don't know if you guys feel me on this, I couldn't look at that and go back to life as normal. Like, I couldn't look at that and say, that's so far out of my reach, but all right, let me go back to work Monday. I couldn't process doing it normal. I just couldn't process it, and I couldn't process being broke for life. I just couldn't process it. And so it was really just about me being so disgusted. And let me tell you, I speak all over the world. I teach all over the world. And one of the things that I tell everybody is you have to be so bothered by broke and lack. It gotta disrupt your spirit. It gotta mess you up so bad that you're gonna do anything in your power to get you're gonna get away from broke. Like, you're gonna stay 6 weeks away from broke like it's COVID. Like we don't even, I don't even want to talk about broke I don't want to have broke conversations with folks, right? Anytime I start to hear broke coming up in somebody's conversation, I have a zero tolerance policy for it. So, and that's what it is for me. It was being different in that way and saying, yeah, this ain't for me. Even the Bronx, like, I have family there. I don't like going. And I'm just being honest. I don't like going. I don't like being there like that. I'm happy now that I'm able to do some more things for people in the Bronx. I can't wait to start some give back initiatives there. And really, because when you go out, and I haven't even been to all the best places in the world. I haven't even traveled to certain countries that I would like to go to. But when you start to elevate and just step out, you start to see the life and the world differently. And you start to be disgusted a little bit by your environment and the mindsets in your environment. So, and I'm not, I know my Bronx folks is going to get on me, but it's like, I just want more. I just want more. I just want more than the corner store. I just want more than business as usual. And so for me, it was, what does that look like? And if for people on the line that if the Bronx and certain lifestyles is what you love, I tell people, do what you love. Like, please, like, if you love your job and you love working every day and that's your grind and it makes you happy, please. I'm all about people doing what they love. But as for this lion from the Bronx, yeah, I wanted to do something a little different.
So you said something that stuck out to me, which I was going to bring up later, but you said something about 6 feet. Speak about the 6 degrees.
Yes. Wait, you talking about my degrees? Oh gosh. So I mean, yeah. So going to school and doing all those things were critical for me. But again, it was more so the zebras in my world told me to do this, right? Go to school. So I did that. And so it's nothing wrong with it, especially if depending on your career path. But I just kept going and going and going and getting all those degrees. And I just feel like I feel like there was another. See, I don't want to rub people the wrong way with my mindset. Like I'm scared. Y'all got me nervous. No, I'm just kidding.
So the thing is that this is Real Talk Radio.
It is. You're right. And I gotta.
The thing is that people gotta hear it.
Yeah, I just want people to. I want people to experience more.
Right.
Like I want people to step outside of I travel all over the world. Like I went to Houston recently, and it was about 200 people in the room. And I said, how many of you guys ever left Houston? Nobody raised their hand. So it's like people are getting comfortable in where they are. And that's really my message. It's like, just step out of that, experience the world, do more things. And trust me, most people can do a lot more things when they have a lot more revenue. And ain't that the truth?
Exactly. So how did you come up with, your businesses? What we already know what the foundation was and the foundation, because you inspire and you're known as the motivator.
Yes.
Speak about that.
So, absolutely. So I started in real estate, did not love real estate. But I knew real estate was a way to make a lot of money fast. In my book, I talk about making money chunks. My book, 7 Laws of Entrepreneurial Success, is my book actually right here. So in this book, I talk about the importance of making money chunks. And what that is if you want to be successful, right? We need money, right? We need money for branding, marketing, promotion, ads, all kinds of stuff. And most times people don't have their money coming in chunks. You have revenue coming in, but you're paying out bills. You're paying your car note. You're paying your bill. So you don't have enough cash on hand to be able to do something else, like perhaps get some equipment for your business or just do something bigger. So in order to do that, and what I did, and to answer your question, is real estate was my way to go make a $5,000 deal, $10,000 deal happen, $15,000 deal in commission, so that I could use that money to do the things that I really aspired to do. So with that said, I would take my real estate money and invest it in my handbag line, invest it in my hair product line, invest it in this business and just different things. And that's just something that I've always done. So taking my real estate money, the industry that I did not love, and saying, I'm going to write a book, putting it into that. Taking my real estate money and saying, you know what, I'm going to develop a board game. I'm going to develop my own wine. I'm going to, I wake up with ideas all the time. So leveraging that. And that's what I tell people who works their regular jobs as well. It's like, if you don't, and this is just to the folks who don't want to do that. It's like, all right, go to work with purpose now, because when you get paid, I'm going to use some of this money and I'm going to leverage it. I'm going to see how I can flip that money so I can get the money chunks that I want to really do the businesses that I want. So basically, I didn't have a rhyme or reason. Like, I really just started doing business and then just evolved.
Okay. Nice. So basically financing yourself, which is the great idea. So did you find any difficulties along the way, what I'm saying, like as far as, being a woman in the field and that's probably more so dominated by males and having people take you serious as a female entrepreneur?
Oh, I deal with it now as a female promoter. Like, so trust me. Yeah, I deal with it now. Mm-hmm. But definitely in real estate, when I got started, it was a boys club. Every broker in New York City was, for the most part, a white male. And I came in and changed the game, and I became the first Black female real estate broker owner on Wall Street to generate $1 million in 1 year and made several million later. I was the only Black woman doing that. I took my real estate money, put it into my own production, hired my own camera crew, hired my own editors, packaged up a trailer, took it to NBC Universal, got a deal on Style Network. So I say all that to say that I was always that ambitious one. Like, all right, how can I now leverage this? I can't sit down. Like, I can't just do business as usual. It's never really been my style.
Right. So I love the fact that, and the thing is that she keeps jumping ahead of me. Damn.
Sorry.
No.
You know what it is? I'm a trained speaker, so normally I don't have to go back and forth. I just
you want it. That's what I love, because I want our viewers to see that this is an education for them to be inspired to aspire. You motivate to elevate, and the film aspect now. You come up with the topics, right? The scenarios, the plots. You're looking for protagonists, antagonists, to play certain roles, right? All this plays from your experiences personally, or you also have creators around you, correct? How does that work?
So that's a great question. And I don't even think you realize why it's such a great question. Because people always think I have this massive army of people around me. And in fact, I had a conversation with someone today and they said, Tiana, like, how do you do all this by yourself? Now, do I have like certain people that I work with and certain people that consult with me on projects? Absolutely. So I will never take away from the team members that I pull together to help me pull certain things off. But for the most part, I have figured out a way, and I smile because I get excited when I talk about business. Sorry. I figured out a way to make a whole lot of money as a one-woman show. And I've been doing this for over 15 years. And let me tell you, I have had my share of drama in business, but it is nothing like being able to turn it off and say, you know what, y'all, I'm going to go back to my mansion by myself and relax without having a whole bunch of people around me. Because as you guys know, when you're dealing with a lot of people, that could be a problem.
Yeah, you're dealing with a lot of different energies and stuff.
Oh my God, so many different energies. So I have mastered that. You still need people, right? No doubt about it. We still need people. People buy from us. But to answer your other question, when I go through things, that line comes back out and I started writing. So I'll tell you a personal story if y'all can't hear it.
Oh, yeah.
With all my success, right? There was one little thing missing. One little thing. Let me see if you guys can guess. Lucky. What did you say?
I said love life.
There you go. Come on, you hit it right on the nose. So with that said, I attracted a broken man who his goal was to break me down to the lowest level of myself that I didn't know I needed to be broken down to. Yeah, let me say that again for the people in the back.
That was powerful.
Let me say it again for the people in the back. I attracted a broken man whose goal was to break me down to the lowest level of myself that I didn't know I needed to be broken down to.
Wow.
So when I was broken down to the lowest level of myself, I had two decisions. And let me tell you, my life is always about decisions. But this particular decision was, do I stay in a fetal position and cry for months and months and months, like everybody told me that I was going to do? Or do I take all this pain and do something with it? Turn this pain into profit. And 3 days in that fetal position, I called a friend of mine, Terry Wood. She wrote True to the Game and all those movies and books.
Right.
And I said, hey, do you know someone that writes scripts? Because I have a story to tell. It was so important to me to share with a writer right then and there my story that I was living in that moment to get the story out.
Right.
And interestingly enough, I once again invested in myself, had him write my first round or my first draft of that script. And after I kept reading the script, I kept going back and forth with him saying, no, put what I really said. Put that I said, you stupid mother. Put all the stuff that I really said. Don't let these degrees and all this, big businesswoman fool you. I called them every, in the book, right?
Right.
So please put that back in. And so, but what I decided to do, I decided to download the script writing software myself. And I went in there and I started typing in every damn curse word that I said. But I say all of that to answer your question that sometimes you got to write your own script. Right. Sometimes you have to take life by the hands and say, you know what? Thank you for what you've done, but I got to take this to the top. I got to take this all the way. I got to keep going with this because at the end of the day, it's my story. So I do things like that to answer your question, whether it's me putting my own movies together, my own documentaries, my own reality shows, whatever it is. I just figure out, I teach myself and I just go for it.
You're like, thanks, baby. You just made me $2 million.
Ooh, yes. Well, I probably didn't call him baby, but yes. I probably said, you stupid mother. Yeah. Thank you, you stupid mother.
Well, you're right. Sure, you're right.
Yeah. You got this event coming up.
Yes.
Please speak to the world and let them know what it took to make this even be a thought and where you ran with it to the point where it is now. Yes.
So this came, this came because I had been working working with Master P for very long. For very long. So I started working with him over almost a decade ago, doing his Master P masterclass, right? And so we've been doing that. You know, Master P teaches his 5 P's to wealth. I teach my 7 laws of entrepreneurial success. And this is something that we've done all over the world for many years. And I went out of town with him for an event, and we had just launched his book that I helped him put together. And I went to a No Limit concert for the first time. And when I tell you, I was blown away.
It made you say,
It totally made me say, I ain't care about them books. I was ready to turn up. Okay. But it was such an amazing feeling. And to see 7,000 people in my face with camo on, it was like, wow.
Yeah.
Wow. And I said, we need this on the East Coast. And so I went to him and I said, hey, you know, we need to do this here. And so I'm excited about doing the Master P benefit concert here. It's his second to last performance. He's retiring. I'm happy that New York, that's why I hope New York, New Jersey, Tri-State really show up for him and for this event. Yeah, so I'm just excited. We're doing Friday, June 6th. We're doing the Master P concert. Saturday, June 7th, we are doing the Master P Masterclass. So you're getting best of both worlds in 2 days.
That's dope.
So, you know, as you heard me earlier, I appreciate the fact that Master P is the person who he is, from hustling out the trunk out of his car to actually telling his son, you're not going to touch any of these millions until you graduate college and you set yourself up, and then we could talk business. I remember seeing it on MTV Cribs when he said to the world, none of this is my son. My son is going to build on his own. And that ambition actually transitioned over. And, you know, not only did he do that for his son, but what he did for Snoop Dogg, when Snoop Dogg was caught in a bind where he had nowhere to go, Master P literally extended that olive branch, got him out of his situation. And now Snoop Dogg is a billionaire with his company.
Yeah. And, you know, I speak to that when I talk about vision. Let me tell you, vision is a powerful tool, but execution is even more powerful. So I tell people all the time, like, when you can see it, that's a big deal, because guys, most people can't see it. He saw something in Snoop. He had the vision that many people didn't have. But now what do we do with that? And so that's what I feel like I run into as well a lot of times when I meet people. It's like sometimes people don't have the vision, which that makes me sad. So I've been blessed to be able to help people go from where they are to building their brands, building their business, and really just pulling out the gifts within them, right? So that's my ministry. That's what I love to do. But not only just saying, hey, I see this for you. I see this for you. So now these are the steps to do it. Let's go do it. And that's where most people get stuck. Master P is not that kind. I've been with him. I've watched him call me with the idea to do NOLA Walk of Fame, for example. And about 6 months later, we were breaking ground. I was shipping plaques to New Orleans for all the major New Orleans greats. You go to New Orleans right now, you'll see names on the ground of these amazing people who deserve to be on such a Walk of Fame. But this was an idea, a phone call, to actually us having a whole ceremony about it.
Shout out New York Joe
Salcedo. That's right. So, you know, it's great to see that you're a powerhouse. That's that to say the least.
That was the name of my TV show on NBC, by the way. just saying.
Strategy, you know. And I personally thank you for the education that you just provided us and the world, because, you know, there are more people that need this ambition and education. And some people say, I'm not going to go to that because I think that's one of those pyramid schemes, or I think that those are one of those things that they just want my money. And you know what? I can't, because I have to stay right here because I feel safe here. And it goes to what you were saying earlier about getting out of your comfort zone, exploring, being a person that travels and develops, you know, a different thing. And I get it. You just, you know, I felt like I was just in a training right now. I'm like, you know, motivate my patients on, and I thank you for that, because would you ever come to the Bronx and do a motivation at the end at a hospital?
No, but I that's what I'm actually working on. Really a 2026 kickoff, but it's in the planning phase now, where I do want to do so much more give back. I am from the Bronx. Like, I probably know every road in the Bronx, right? And so because of that, I know how much more we can do and what's outside of there to build and build the Bronx. Like, I want to see the Bronx. There's certain areas I see that's getting built up, and I'm like, okay, you know, I love it when I go up there. My grandmother recently passed away, but she, God bless her soul, she has a house up there still, and you know, I would go see her, and I have some family members there. So the Bronx is in my soul, but I'm gonna keep it real with you. I like to tell my people, like, hey, you know, let's build, like, let's grow, like let's do other things. Let's build, let's rebuild the Bronx. Let's go get the money so we can bring it back and pour it back into our families and our communities. And so that's really just my message. So I'm excited to come back and do some speeches there, and help some of the kids to do their branding and build their businesses. I would love to do that.
Because I envision you being a lecturer, a presenter for the youth, because the schools that we were speaking about this the other day, it's in Long Island, and they're being educated on technologies and journalism, you know, special type of opportunities that only go to the affluent aspects of certain areas. Here in the Bronx, you know, we're the poorest congressional district in the nation, as we've always been.
I know.
Get dumped on. But people don't realize that the greatest actors, the greatest musicians, the greatest entrepreneurs,
Tiana Von Johnson.
There you go. You know, and we've been blessed today with your presence and the education that you give us, so that you can inspire our viewership, but to also motivate, you know, everyone as a whole, that, you know what, don't just live this life, be alive and go out there and grab it by the throat and say, I'm going to enjoy you while I have you. Because a lot of people just let it fly by.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
So, aside from the concert, what else do you have coming up?
Wow. So many different things. I actually just started a speaker agency, and it's going to be based out of here in New Jersey, where I'm at, because I do a lot of traveling. But I said, you know what, for the next couple of months, years, I want to really, really build up individuals that are here, because there's so much more outside. Like, I've spent the last 15 years all over the world, and I'm like, there's so many people here in New York, New Jersey with a powerful message. Like, I've trained myself on how to go make millions as a speaker, as an author. And there's plenty of people in the Bronx and in Queens and Brooklyn and Jersey who got stories far greater than mine, right? But they just don't know how to package the story. They don't know how to speak from a stage. If somebody puts a mic in your hand, the first thing you do is you get nervous. You know, I mean, I love that there's more podcasts like yours coming out. I love that I don't know how long you guys been doing it, but I love that there's podcasts and people that are really doing it more. But you could be so much more profitable if you understand this is not a hobby. Like, this is a whole business.
Right.
And there's a way to do it as a business, but then there's another way to get a whole other bag by being a speaker. I tell men that I'm around all the time, you have no idea. I said, do you understand that you can go to schools and teach young boys about how to stay out of trouble? Do you know that you can get paid millions of dollars for doing that? They were like, I don't know. I said, well, there's 3 things you need to just get started to even go get the money. You can't get the money because you haven't done these 3 things. Now, if you want to know what those 3 things are, you have to come to my summit. I'm saying, you know, but real talk.
Nash Riley, I was actually waiting for the hook.
No, but to your point, you said something really critical earlier. You said people don't want to go; they think it's a scheme. I'm coming with telling you how to put these 3 things together to go build your speaker brand, to go generate revenue, go build money in Canada, go make money in Houston, go make money in Florida, go make money up the 95. Like, that's what I'm bringing. So someone that stays home, that's what they're missing. Right. I'm not here to sell you on anything. I already got it going on. You know, I'm here to show you what I did as a girl from the Bronx who was able to make it happen for herself. That's what people will miss by staying home.
That's right, ladies and gentlemen. One more time, T. Let them know what's going on this weekend.
Yes.
And where they can find you.
Yes. Friday, June 6th, go to masterpconcert.com. I have some last minute half price tickets exclusively for this podcast. So if anybody buys tickets today, just use my sponsored code ICONIC. If you go to Ticketmaster and put in the code ICONIC, you will be sitting in a very good seat with Bone Thugs and Harmony, The Lox, Master P, Chubb Rock, Peter Guns, and so many other amazing artists.
Chubb Rock.
Yes. Yes, it's going to be amazing. And on Saturday at 12 o'clock, Master P is going to be speaking, teaching his 5 P's to wealth. And of course, I'm coming in to teach my 7 laws of entrepreneurial success.
Okay.
That's right, ladies and gentlemen. Be sure to just go on to the website, look up Tiana Vaughn Johnson. She is phenomenal. She is worth every word that she says because she's had a lasting effect on me today. she reawoken something that was dormant. Thank you for that.
You're
This
welcome.
true blessing.
Ms. Johnson, what
Yes.
advice would you actually to give young ladies that want to be entrepreneurs and promoters like yourself? What kind of advice would you actually give them moving forward? If you wanted to give like a little tidbit.
Aside from coming to my class, I would say get a really good coach. I pride myself on coaching because you don't know what you don't know, right? So if unless you sit down with me and I coach you through these things, you won't know.
Right.
So I think we stop growing when we stop learning, right?
Right.
So you have to learn. So whether that's through getting a coach like myself, reading books, studying, the problem sometimes, and to you guys' point, and I understand it because I deal with it, is sifting through the noise of it all.
Right.
Like, what's right? What's wrong? Do I post ads? Do I not? Do I invest in this? How do I do a podcast? What should I get? Should I get equipment? Should I go stream? It's a lot of noise. So I think really getting with someone that is a visionary and really helping you kind of figure that out. So I'm very big on coaching, therapists. I'm very big on people that can help you go higher. Even your friend group. You know, what conversations are you allowing into your ear gates?
Right.
You know, that's going to help elevate you. Sitting down with a Master P and hearing what he's doing.
Right.
That's the conversations I want to have on a Saturday afternoon.
Exactly.
So yeah, I hope that advice helps.
Absolutely.
Appreciate you, Ms. Johnson.
And thank you so much. And we look forward to, actually reaching out more in the future and working with you on anything. Please feel free to always contact us. We'll be there. And, you have foot soldiers here. I want you to know.
Thank you so much. Have a good night.
God bless you. Ashe. And be sure to always tune in to Tiana Vaughn Johnson. Check her out this Friday and Saturday. Master P, let's go. It's a benefit that's a need worldwide.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes,
We're going to take a short commercial break and we're going to come up with our second guest, Salsero, the one and only Billy Crespo, only on Extremities ENT Talk Show with Davon Franklin.
Jose Rivera.
Let's go.
Are you ready? Oh, yeah, it's coming. The Bronx Puerto Rican Day Parade coming to you live.
Be sure to come out June 14, 2025 to the Grand Concourse, 165th Street, all the way to Mount Eden. You already know.
Grand Marshal DJ Kaiser Heaton. Padrino de la Parada, Dr. Anderson Torres. Madrina de la Parada, Aisha Hernandez. With live performances. With your hosts, Jose and Artie. Puerto Rico.
You know,
Slick with it beats.
yo, them knows anything heavy. Them knows every rule heavy. 5X anything heavy. Come to see with you knows anything heavy. And we know everything them were heavy. Yo, life we live, everybody say it heavy. Rich big mansion, carry them heavy. And bank account load up well heavy. It a be heavy, yeah, it a be heavy. Millions them heavy, machine them heavy. Don't violate, so we get a coffin heavy. Bully pattern, man, some of that heavy. It a be heavy, yeah, it a be heavy. You survive well family, yeah, we roll heavy. Talk them now, play with a chase like Jeffy. Pull up in a the place, think mad dog Teddy. Love the place, show you with them, I take a skelly. Then smoke and gin, Hennessy, cranberry. Be a pretty girl, get me something at them belly. Bad girl, the big Asia, love it every. This a real talk like scoop up, Machiavelli city. Life we live, everybody say it heavy. Rich big mansion, carry them heavy. And bank account load up well heavy. It a be heavy, yeah, it a be heavy. Millions them heavy, machine them heavy. Don't violate, you we get a coffin heavy. Bully for girl, them suck my fight heavy. It a be heavy, yeah, it a be heavy, yo. Millions we a make while them a chat. Them no bad like me a tell you that. Do it on the beat, and the beat of the beat. In the studio, on the street, me take flight, 7 days of the week. Me no big strength, cause me no weak. Straight jeans, wallabies, eat the palmy feet. What? Wallabies, the palmy city. Life we live, everybody say it heavy. Rich big mansion, carry them heavy. And bank account load up well heavy. It a be heavy, yeah, it a be heavy. Millions them heavy, machine them heavy. Don't violate, so we get a coffin heavy. One day, pan, man, in my fat heavy. It a be heavy, yeah, it a be heavy. You see, 5 family, yeah, we roll heavy. Talk them now, play, we not chase like Jeffy. Pull up in a the place, link mad dog Teddy. Love you play, show you with them, I take a skelly. Then smoke and gin, Hennessy, cranberry. Be a pretty girl, get this up in them belly. Bad girl, the big Asia, love it every. This a real talk like scoop up, Machiavelli city. Life we live, everybody say it heavy. Rich big mansion, carry them heavy. And bank account load up well heavy. It a be heavy, yeah, it a be heavy. Millions them heavy, machine them heavy. Don't violate, so we get a coffin heavy. Bully pan, girl, them suck my fat heavy. It a be heavy, yeah, it a be heavy.
Yeah, man.
You know Wagwan?
Wagwan.
You know, come here.
Come here.
Come here.
Come here.
Come here.
You guys wish we were in Jamaica.
No, it's like come here. Come here.
Come here.
No, not come here.
Come here.
Come here.
Come here.
Yeah, come here.
Come here.
Come here. Mean come here.
Okay. Come here. Come here.
Yeah, man.
Welcome back to the Extremities ENT Talk Show with Davon Franklin.
Jose Rivera.
That's right. Yo, Davon, man, aside from seeing that great video, which is doing great numbers overseas, as we were just speaking about, we actually attended a great festival this past Saturday, right?
Oh, yeah.
It was at the Yonkers Day Parade, and we saw a true legend come out.
No, that was Sunday.
It was Sunday?
Was it Sunday?
And my days got screwed up.
Mine too. I think it was Sunday.
Yeah, I believe Sunday, yeah.
Sunday.
So we had somebody that, even Jamie, our boy that we ran into, Jamie Sanders, our third wheel on this car.
Shout out Jamie Sanders, man.
You know, we actually parked by his crib, and I said, "Yo, you know, Jamie live right here." And then he's like, "Oh, word!" And then I decided to call him, and he picked up, and he was like, "Yo," he says, "Yo, my boy just invited me there," and I was like, but y'all there, I'm coming."
It was good seeing him, man. I enjoyed seeing him, man. It was cool.
So this artist I'm speaking about, Jamie even came up to me and was like, "Yo, this guy's about 80, 85 years old, right?" I was like, "Yeah." He says, "I remember this music. This is real salsa." We're speaking about, you know, the legend himself, Charlie Aponte.
Okay.
You know, I even saw Davon on the side dancing, doing his steps over there too. Right. I was like, you see, look at Charlie, got everybody dancing. You see, even the people, that girl from Portugal, Brazil, she did her thing too. Ana Dominguez. Yeah. You know, everybody was loving Charlie Aponte. And the reason I bring that up is because he paved the way for a lot of Latin artists that are doing their thing, and he actually influenced him amongst many others, right? Mm-hmm. And he spoke about how he loved New York, right?
Right.
But he says English wasn't, too good. That's all he could say. Right. And this next individual we're about to bring up most likely got influenced by the great Charlie Aponte. And, he himself is actually an artist that does great music as well. Okay. Salsa music. Ladies and gentlemen, please help us and welcome me worldwide, Billy Crispo.
Yes, sir. Hey.
How you doing, guys? How you doing? Good evening. Thank you for the opportunity to be a part of the show.
Yes,
Extremities Entertainment.
Absolutely. Billy, let the world know who you are, where you came from, and what inspired you to get into this.
Okay, you got how much time do we have? There's a lot. Well, Billy Crispo, I started actually not singing. I started playing trumpet in grammar school. And how that came about is it's nothing, we didn't have I don't have like relatives, like real relatives, like uncles or cousins that that have musical background. What happened was 5th grade. You also when I don't know the ages of between us three, but when you're in grammar school, they used to have a kid that come to the class with a no, and who wants to take an art class, who wants to take a music class, who wants to take this class, that class. So basically, this is how it happened. We just regular 5th grade doing whatever subject we were doing. Kid comes up to the class with a note, from another class, and it said who wanted to take trumpet. So I really didn't raise up my hand. So the kid next to me, his name was, I still remember their names, it was Gerald. He raised his hand, and I looked at him like, that's on you. And then he goes, Billy, raise your hand, so we don't have to get out of class, and we don't have to do any work. Chacho, what the? Raise up my hand. Monkey see, monkey do. So they needed two students. So apparently, I wasn't the one that got picked. It was somebody else, a guy named Nathaniel, and another kid named Johnny. And Johnny was a lot shorter, like real short. So what happened was the teacher said, "No, Johnny, I don't know if he made it as a joke, but it was a joke. But back then you could get away with it. Now you can't say that." He goes, "No, we won't choose you because maybe the instrument's taller than you. So then you can get away with it. Now you can't." So then he gave it to me. So I was like, all right, so I'm gonna get out of class. But then, then once you get out of class, you gotta make that up, whatever you missed. Then, your friend hits you in the elbow, but he doesn't tell you the downfall. Whatever you didn't learn, you gotta make it up. So we go downstairs, we get to get the instruments. I had no clue what I wanted. My friend said, "Oh, I'm gonna play trumpet." Monkey see, monkey do. Okay, I play trumpet too. You know, and we took the classes. I took it home. The instrument home. They let you take the instrument home. And my parents were shocked because, I where did this come from? So but then again, like I said, I learned that I read music through the school. I played trumpet for a period of time because I went through grammar school, played in high school. Well, let me go back. I played in grammar school, played in the grammar school band, continued to high school and played with the high school band. And like how we learn, you read, you do it in sections, you do it in parts. There was no, like, now there are first time readers, sight readers. You give them this chart and they read it one shot with no problem. Wasn't then, and I'm definitely not now. I'm not that type of a musician that can read first shot, but I can read music. Anyway, after as as I'm getting ready to graduate high school, I bump into Los Hermanos Moreno. It's a salsa band back in the '90s, and it was so happened that my sister's boyfriend then, which is now my brother-in-law, but then he had went to school with one of them. So he goes, "Oh yeah, I know such and such." So okay, no problem. In Jersey, there was one festival, a big, massive festival. I don't even know it was a cultural festival, multicultural, and they had to play. So then I went up to the brother, the one brother, said, "No," I said, "Oh yeah, I played. Do you know such and such?" He goes, "Yeah, I went to school with him. We played baseball." I said, "Well, he's my sister at the time." He's like, "He's my sister, my sister's boyfriend." He goes, "Oh wow." He goes, "Yeah, you play instrument?" I said, "Yeah, I do. I play trumpet." He goes, "Yeah, here's my card." So I go to their rehearsal. So I do the rehearsal. It's a lot. It's a different ball game. We're talking about rice and
Hey,
arroz con white rice and arroz con gandules.
Billy, you got
Yeah.
Mel from the Bronx Puerto Rican Day Parade saying hello. The president of the
Oh, Maribel, saludo. I gotta be like this because it's the little letters.
As well as Jose Ortiz.
Yeah. Saludo, Maribel. Oh, Marisol or Maribel?
Maribel.
Maribel Martinez.
And
Saludos.
Juan Ortiz as well says that the relationships amongst people make life beautiful.
Right. Yeah, Juan's real special. He's a special person. In a sense, his ability. So certain things that if he writes anything, just keep in mind he has a special ability. And he's a saludo Juan. I met him, really nice kid. He recognized me when I went to it was a birthday party. And he came up to me, and in his way, he recognized me. So I had to like figure out how what he was, understanding what he was trying to tell me. But you
Sure.
know, but then again, Juan, saludos, un fuerte abrazo para ti. And getting back to the story, when I told him like I said, playing with on a professional band and playing with a high school band, it's like white rice and arroz con gandules. Same thing. Music is universal, but it's two different things. Because with the high school band, you do it piece by piece, measure by measure. The professional band, and you get a chart and you just go and you read it. So I used to take the charts home and try to play along, with a cassette. Or at the time we had the 33s, 33 albums. So I was with them on and off with Los Hermanos Moreno because at the time, after I started there, it was getting a lot difficult. I let the trumpet go, and then I remained with the band as their band boy, their sound engineer. And then I left that because traveling and late night. Sometimes it gets to you. So I wound up coming back as their chorus guy because one of the singers, because they always had two singers, one had moved. So I remember in the rehearsal, there was the two brothers and one singer, and they were trying to coordinate the chorus. And me at the time, I was young. I was like 21, and I was always the clown, like one of the class clowns. So I used to do like voice samplings with my mouth, just like Police Academy, they make the sound effects.
Right.
So I told the guys, when they were having a difficulty trying to get the harmony, I said, I don't know what's the difficulty of you guys getting the fourth voice. What you have to do is imitate Danny, the guy that had moved, Danny's pitch. And man, you had to see everything stopped, and they looked at me like, "Who are you to talk?" He gave me that look, and they're like, "Yeah," and no, and I blushed, man. I blushed, and I was like, he goes, "What are you talking about?" I said, "All you got to do is imitate Danny's voice," and so happens I just did it just to show them what it was. So they said, "Do it again," and I thought, como like to being a clown, and I did it again. So then they said, "Do it with the current, the current singer," and I was like, "Why?" You know, and no, we want to see something. And then I started getting the butterflies, and I started picking up what they were trying to get at. So I looked at the band, and they were just looking at me. Everything was like a pin, like you could drop a pin and you can hear it. So nobody there said anything, and I was like red and scared and nervous. But what did I say? So I did it. So then they said, okay, and he tells the singer, we're gonna do it as a band at whole. And I right there I knew, I said, dude, I don't sing. And then the other brother, he puts the bongos in between his knees. He goes like this. What my brother was trying to do is, he thinks, this is the way he talked to me. He thinks you can fill in for the fourth voice. It's up to you if you want to do it or not, but I don't think you want to stick around doing sound forever. There's an opportunity for you to try to do better, or you never know what could this lead up to. Man, my mouth got dry. I was sweating, nervous, real nervous, because this was something I took as a not as fooling around. I did the pitch. He says, just what you said. Imitate the pitch. Do that, and then I did it. And then he says, okay. He goes, then back then my Spanish wasn't 100%. It wasn't. It was like maybe 20%. So then they told me, listen, go take him over the song, blah blah blah. And I was already officially in the band, and I just just dropped, like my blood dropped, and everything's like, where do I go? I went from playing trumpet to setting up the equipment and doing this sound. Now I'm in the front stage. If I mess up, people are gonna laugh at me. That's the first thing I was gonna be like. People are gonna be watching at me. You get that pressure. Right. So I said, listen, if I don't like it, if I can't handle it, can I go back to what I was doing? He goes, well, I'm pretty sure you'll be able to do fine, but just try it. And then that was back in 1999. Okay. And here I am now. I have 12 productions.
Nice.
So you've traveled, obviously, and you've collaborated with some bands and other artists.
Big name artists. Yeah.
What was one of those that made you say, "Wow, this makes me feel like I'm here. I've arrived"?
Well, when I started with the chorus, with the band, when we travel, you meet people. So they all accept you. When we do like the breaks, like even when we do the festivals, you have 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 bands, and you all have your gathering. You have your little hangout right before the next band plays. You always have that little group thing, like those little football huddles. But as I did my own production, I had the support of El Conjunto Clásico, the founder of El Conjunto Clásico. He always treats me like a son. He's like my musical father. So he says, anything I need, he's there. And to this day, he's been, on point. So he helped me with my first production. It was an English tune. There's several, not several. So then what happens is, as when you get your first single, like this will be my first single. This was my first, the best that you can do. And as you start promoting it and you start showing it around, and people start reading the credits, because that's the main thing when you get a product. Everybody wants to know who recorded who and who. like who did this, who did what. So being that I also had a family friend from ex musician from Tito Roas. He's also a trumpet player and he's also a teacher. So he did a lot of my arrangements, a lot, not like a 4 or 5, and he was able, because we collaborated. He said, "Listen, let's do the project. We can get chorus people to record. I can get you singers." I said, "What do you mean by singers? I can get you, let's say, whoever you want. Let's say I can get you Iman Miranda. I can get you Luisito Carrion." I was like, "You really think they can do that?" He goes, "Yeah, because at one point they were chorus. So why would they started us somewhere." So and they winded up singing, and then they did whatever. Plus he had that connection. So because he was in Puerto Rico, so I said, "All right, if you can do it, do it." So one of the productions was done in Puerto Rico, but I had the chorus done here. So I used a few guys here because I just wanted to give everybody an opportunity. And one of them was Jimmy Morales, that he used to be the conguero for Willie Rosario in Ibecto. That when Ibecto sings his music, he'd be like, "Jimmy," he goes, "Jimmy," and he has a little solo.
Right.
One of them was him, and rest in peace, Jimmy, because he passed away a few years ago. So one of them was that Manolito Rodriguez. He's like one of the top timaleros in Puerto Rico. Simone that did the trumpet and the arrangement. Toby Rivera. He's the father of you know Toby, right? Toby. He did chorus. Yeah, he did chorus.
The father and son.
Yeah. He's the father of Toby Love. So he participated in this project, El Conjunto Clásico. And then that one singer that I was with that band with Hermano Moranda, he was teaching me. Is the one thing he told me: when you do the chorus, first thing you do, learn all 3 voices. Learn the first, learn the second, learn the third, regardless. But being that you are a trumpet player, you have the ear for it. It'll be easier for you. And the reason why I tell you learn all 3 voices, because if you go to a band and they're already situated, they just need a fill-in, and if they have their first and second, you do your third. If they have a second and they need a first, you do your first. So this way, like whenever you go into a whatever band, you'll master it because you already know the voices. You listen to any songs on the radio and just try to go with the songs. Learn the first, the second, and the third on every song that you know.
Let's me right there, Billy. Now that you said play the song, I'm gonna ask Al to play one of your songs, but not to play about a minute of it because we want the people to go and support you on your platforms. So we want to get enticed because I'm pretty sure you got your music on the platforms, right? Like Spotify.
All of them, yeah. Everything.
I believe we got a couple of your stuff, so we're gonna play a couple of snippets of your stuff so people could get enticed and go get your stuff online. Just like we had Audie last week, live right here. We were interviewing people, and he went on and clicked on the 99 cents, and that's what we promote. We promote the artists that we're interviewing, that the people go on live right now, and support. It's only 99 cents. What you gonna do with the 99 cents? Go spend it on candy or mess up your teeth? Spend it on real talent and help somebody build. All right, so let's get into the first one right quick. We're going to give a snippet, and then we're going to speak back about the track and then speak about the second one. Only on the Extremity ENT Talk Show with Davon Franklin.
Jose Rivera.
I'm wishing on a star to follow where you are. I'm wishing on a dream to follow what it needs. I'm wishing on a star to follow where you are. I'm wishing on a dream to follow what it needs. And I wish on all the rainbows that I see. And I wish on all the people really dream. And I'm wishing on tomorrow rain, it'll come. And I'm wishing all the loving we never done. I never thought I'd see a time when you would be
Oh my God.
Thank you. That's this one right here. This album.
So you know what you took me back to, right? I'm
Back
gonna
to the
say
70s. Back to the
Yeah.
70s.
Yeah, but also you took me back to when my mother used to whip my ass if I didn't clean that house on a Saturday, and she would play the Tito Nieves, you know, the music you're playing right now, the English salsa, which fascinates me. And I'd always said, damn, we need more people to sing salsa in English. So this right here just took me back to a Saturday morning where I was pissed off, but I was listening to this type of music and I was just dancing like, yeah, it's English salsa. Because I got tired of listening to the Spanish salsa all the time that I was a kid growing up. So this right here took me back to like my therapy.
Jackie Garcia giving you shout outs. She said wishing on a star. Yeah.
Yes. Jackie Garcia is from Florida, actually, listening from Florida.
Joe Salcedo, showing you love.
Yeah, Joe, another good supporter, also from Florida too.
Okay.
I've met a lot of well, I don't know exactly who's on there because it'll just pop up on the bottom of the screen, but the names, yeah, I've met them in person, and they're good supporters.
So are you in New York or in Florida, or where are you?
Jersey
right now. What part of Jersey?
Union City.
All right. I went to Emerson High School before I got turned into.
Get out of here, for real?
Into Union, yeah, man. I came player of the week. You know the guy that's playing right now, the quarterback for New Orleans. He was a freshman when I was a junior. He's in the NFL right.
So what year did you graduate, Emerson?
Jameson was behind me, the quarterback.
No. What year did you graduate, Emerson?
I came back to New York. I was there from 92 to 96.
Okay, so I had Okay, so I had graduated from high school already because I graduated in '88. But yeah, now Emerson is like more like it's a middle school, more or less. Middle school.
I hear that the field is on top of the school now.
Well, no, what they did is they use Emerson and Union Hill as middle schools. So let's say because then if you went to Emerson, you lived downtown.
Yeah, I lived on 20th Street, and it was right there.
on what street? 20th?
On 20th between New York and Palisades.
Okay, I'm on 24th.
I was
so we were close by, but anywhere from the 23 down, right. So of course, with Emerson. So now that's a middle school for like 7th and 8th graders.
Really?
And then Union Hill, yeah, they changed it. And the same thing with Union Hill. So now the new school is called Soaring Eagles. So it's a high school and with the stadium on top.
Okay, yeah, that's what my guys that I went to school with told me. They said they've created a whole new school and they put it on top. Right. It was like, yo, even West New York has changed a little too. I was like, what?
In fact, remember Emerson Stadium?
Yeah,
that's the school right there, the Emerson Stadium.
Oh, so they put the school on top of the stadium. Yeah, I was.
No.
The coach.
They put the stadium on top of the school. What they did, they reconstructed.
Right, they put the school on where the old stadium was. Is what you're saying? They put the
right, and then the stadium on top. Correct.
Yeah. Shout out to Coach Introna, Licenti, Bruce Nazamento. You know, all these guys that were principals and then they became coaches. And when if you came from Union City and now that you say Union City, when I went there with a Bronx attitude when it was just Cubans and by Cubans. And I was one of the few Puerto Ricans, Dominicans, Colombians that was just moving in when we were migrating into there, right? And then, salsa was big out there, but it was more like rumbia and Colombian music until the salsa was coming in hard with the infiltration from like First Street and Jersey City, all the people coming from the islands that started filling in. And you saw that transition. You lived there when there was a lot of stuff when Hoboken used to fight Jersey City from the roofs and throw rocks, and then all the racism and all that happened with the mob, and I know you experienced.
I went to Hoboken High School.
Shout out Jackie Garcia.
Because what happened was my mom worked in the school system in Hoboken, so at that time we had pool.
That's your man, Mom Vilma Mendez, Leon.
Yeah. So we could say it now because my mom since retired from there. So we were able to pull it off. I lived in Union City and went to school in Hoboken because she had pool. She worked in the superintendent's office. So now you can't do it. Everything's forget it. They check everything. But then we were able to put my aunt's address when she was alive then. And it was, as long as it was a Hoboken address, yeah, fine. But I would go straight from Union City to Hoboken. I would catch the ride with her, and then stick around. And then when school was over, go to our job, and then come home.
So, growing up out there, I'm sure along with the music and stuff, but you came out with the English salsa. You want it different, or were you influenced to do that?
Well, this one, the first one. It was something to identify myself. It's an English salsa, the best that you can do. That's the one with the one that Arthur. Once in your life, you find someone that turns your heart around. The next thing you know, you're closing down the town. That movie. When you get caught between the moon and so because it said New York City, I wanted to do a tune that identified me, even though I'm not from New York City, but I was close to it, So this was the first one. Wishing on a Star. Oh, sorry.
You could have done Union City.
Yeah, right. But then I will have copyright infringements over here because you're changing the words. Yeah. But Wishing on a Star was it's a tune that I really didn't want to do, but it was somebody that I knew fell in love with a female artist, and she moved on with her life, and the guy went crazy. Like cuckoo. So myself and a DJ friend, we were like teasing, we're on the phone. Yeah, this guy made a song and he dedicated a song to her, and he's going crazy over her. And then I was, we're goofing. I said, it would have been fun if we would have did something like, I feel it's time we should make up, babe, and we're dying laughing. But then it hit me. I said, wait a minute, you know what? That'd be cool. I don't think that was done in salsa. I said, Dave. The guy's name was Dave. I said, David, I'll call you back. Let me check the archive, see if this was done. And he says it wasn't done. I went and I called the arrangement and we'll be in Union City that I do my stuff. I said, Chino, let's do this tune. I said, you know what? It hasn't been done. It's a worldwide known song. Everybody knows it. Let's do it. And that's what we did.
That's dope.
That's dope, right?
Dope. I like that.
Somebody's misery became my achievement.
So we got this other track here.
Good.
This other song. What is this other?
Which one?
You sent two, right?
No, I sent you more. This was the best you can do. Wishing on a Star. Okay. But you said you have other songs you were gonna play. You play it, and I'll tell you what it is.
All right, Big Al. I believe that we had one song, two songs.
One. That was this one. Wishing on a Star.
All right. So let's just play something right quick and let everybody chime in on the chat. And if you'd like to speak to Billy, you already know what to do. There's the number right there.
Mi forma de ser desde que perdí tu dulce amor, bella mujer. Hoy me arrepiento y te diré cómo me siento a morir porque a mi lado yo no te tengo. Porque he cambiado mi forma de ser desde que perdí tu dulce amor, bella mujer. Hoy me arrepiento y te diré cómo me siento a morir porque a mi lado yo no te tengo. Yo quisiera ser una máquina de tiempo para volver atrás y empezar nuestro amor perfecto. Hoy estoy dispuesto a dar lo máximo por tu dulce amor, que a mí me embriaga de vacío. Yo sé que tú me dirás que no me quieres, pero yo quiero, mujercita linda, ser de ti feliz.
Wow. I see, as it was closing out, I was gonna say, I like the part what you said about the time machine, but now as the chorus was fading out, I said, okay, that's the correlation right there.
Yeah, no, it's a one of the most popular and one of the most played songs since 2019. This was recorded in 2019. And I don't know, is it because I was blessed of having Tito Rojas doing chorus with El Punto Clásico? Because Tito Rojas never did chorus for anybody since he came out with his own stuff. You know, when he did that song, Siempre Seré, Siempre, you know, so that was 1991, 92. So since he went solo, he never did chorus or recorded chorus for anybody. He didn't need to. So being, like I said, when I was with Los Hermanos Moreno, they and Tito Rojas had the same booking agency, so we used to travel many times. We were together, you know, or they were there. We were just getting there, and they were leaving, but we always saw each other. And the one friend that I told you that he was the trumpet from Puerto Rico, he was then a trumpet for Tito Rojas. But on 2018, this is the 1 year before he had passed, the Tito Rojas passed. They were doing a gig here in New York. And since I know, like I said, I know them, they always came to the house. Like the whole band used to come to this house here. And my mom used to cook for them, the whole band. Because like I said, we all, back then it was a different bond. And one day when I was telling his timbalero, which was the music director, and his chorus player to see if they could record, they said no problem because they were going to perform in New York. And I was like, what are the odds of having Tito Rojas do chorus? Oh, we don't know. You know, Tito, once he comes here, they grab him and he does interviews and radio, and we don't see him. So, okay. So, I said, at least try, if there's a possibility. So I remember I was working, and I saw Linda Rosa, saludo Linda. I was working, and they called me, and it's the musician, the chorus, and the timbalero. They, oh, really? We here and this was in Sea Caucus. They're like, oh, we here in at the hotel. I said, okay. And then I said, listen, somebody wants to talk to you. And I said, okay. And I'm like, I didn't have no clue who it was. And they put him on. It was Tito Rojas. He was like, Papito, como tu estás? I was like, oh, and then my co-worker, he's Peruvian at the time, and he was working with me. His eyes were like two dishes because he knows Tito Rojas, and to hear his voice on the speakerphone on my phone, and he's calling me, talking to me. I was like, Tito, how you doing? And I'll say it in English because in case he says, oh, listen, Celso tells me, he said it in Spanish, but I'm going to translate it in English. He's like, oh, Celso told me you're going to do recording. And I said, yeah, but I want to know. And before I even said I want to know, he goes, come pick me up. I'll do chorus. So he answered my question. I didn't even have to ask him. So then he says, how long are you going to be? And I was like, oh, I was going to say 30 minutes because I was still working. So when my coworker overheard it, he says, leave. I'll cover for you. Go. Congratulations. Go. And then I said, yeah. And it was funny because they were scheduled for the day that I was working, it was a Friday, actually. It was a Friday. But they got to Sea Caucus a lot earlier, and I was trying to get out of work and then go meet them somewhere. Right. So he says, just leave, go. He goes, vete, I'll cover you. I said, Tito, I'll be there in 15 minutes because I worked in Sea Caucus. So I was going to say 30 minutes. I'll be there in 10 minutes, 15 minutes. So I picked them up, and it's funny because this is a lot of things that people don't know about Tito Rojas, and it got me too. So I go pick him up, And of course, you want to show hospitality. So you go. I had a bottle of Hennessy and some beers. Because they had just said they just ate. So get some drinks. So we're driving. When you come down to you remember the McDonald's down that McDonald's with Schutton Park?
Right.
We were coming up there because I had to go to my house. So he says, "Oh yeah, is this West New York?" And I look at the rear mirror. I said, "What do you know about West New York?" I told him just like that. He goes, "Papito," he goes, "before I was Tito Ross, I lived in West New York." I thought he was BSing me. I looked at the guy, his musical director. He didn't know. He doesn't know. He said, "No, say I don't know." I said, "For real?" He goes, "Yeah, Norwegian, West New York." And he's naming town. So I'm like, "Okay." I said, "But when was this?" He goes, "Oh, this was before." So it had to be like in the 80s or something like that. And he was telling me, and I was like, "Wow, this guy was in Jersey." But then he moved to, when he did his thing, he moved to back in in the late 80s, early 90s. He moved to Puerto Rico.
Yeah.
Que estaba con Justo Betacuda, his compadre. So I was like, okay, we go to the studio. Everybody's drinking. So they said, "Who's first?" Tito. I get him out the way. He goes, "Why?" Tito. I said, "They're drinking. I want to make sure his speech is clear because we were drinking Hennessy, a case of Heineken's. So we want to make sure we got a clear vocals out of him." And that's how we did it, because then at the end, and we're all. But if you listen to the chorus and the track, you hear his voice. Me hace falta tu cariño, yo te quiero, regresa conmigo. That was his pitch.
Rest in peace, Tito Roja. So, Billy, let everybody know what you got coming up. Any projects coming up? Any shows?
Well, I have a lot of things pending. I'm getting calls. Right now they sent me this morning. It was in a contract agreement for a performance in August for Millville, New Jersey, their first Latin festival, multicultural festival. So they're still confirming artists, but I am one, and I'll be performing there, South Jersey. I have something. What was the other one? There was in I can't even pronounce it. Torrington, Connecticut, also in August. I think it's August 30th. Hosted by Arlene G. She's a Latin artist.
Here we have
Arlene G. and her husband Chamo Vega. They themselves, they're sponsoring this festival. They asked me to be a part of it, and they're putting up a band, and so I could sing several songs. So that will be at the end of August. That's confirmed. I'm waiting for confirmation for someone. They're gonna get back to me by the end of next week. It will be November in Florida, Lakeland, Florida, but that's still up in the air. That's nothing confirmed, but that's something that they're considering. It's all about funding, because there's a lot of nonprofit, but the nonprofit, you can't do much with nonprofit, because musicians, they don't, you got to pay the musicians. The musicians don't do things for free anymore. We're in a different era. So
if you work for free, you ain't gonna eat.
That's like me. I'm like the guy on the street with the cardboard sign. I work for food. No, it doesn't work that way. You guys don't. The musicians don't want to hear that. Back in the day, because there was more venues. Like I say, you do a TV show or radio show, but yeah, you do it for free, because it's promotion. But there was venues to perform, so you make up for that. Now there's no. You live in New York. If you live in New York, the only thing you can look forward to is the festivals. So that's a year later, and then you have these little places that you can't really have a 12-piece band. You have a 3-4-piece band, and they don't sound the same. They're sequential, and you take away the effect from the actual recording. Like, that band's, how the 4 people sound like a whole band, because it's all digital, it's all pre-recorded, and it's not the way to go.
Wow. Thank you for that. Thank you for that education right quick, because a lot of people used to be like, yeah, I got a 3-4-piece band, but then they sound like they an orchestra. So you just cracked the code on everybody. So everybody that was playing.
Yeah, it's a sequential, because they have a piano player. Everything is downloaded to the piano player, to the pianist. Whether the piano player is a piano player or not, All he has to do is press the button, and it's like a karaoke, king, 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 man. But then the horns don't sound like the horns. You'll probably have a live percussion, but it's like playing with a record. And then and you're limited because if the song is 4 minutes, 5 minutes, that's what you got to do. And then next, and then of course the track won't have words, so you'll have an actual singer singing it, and they'll sing just the exact same thing. When you do it with a full band, you can improvise. You can have a piano solo. You can have a timbale solo. You can have a conga solo. You can have whatever. You could call a couple come dance on the stage. No, but when you do it sequential, meaning it's pre-recorded, you only got 4, 5, 6 minutes. After that, next.
Yeah, good points. Good points. Let everybody know where they can find you on all platforms.
Okay, you can find me on social media, of course. Billy Crespo on Facebook. Facebook. You can hear me?
Yes.
Okay, Facebook. You can find me on Instagram, TikTok. On the platforms, you have Spotify. Once you register your music, they give you like about a couple of hundred digital platforms where you can find your music. Tidal, CD Baby, Apple, Pandora. What's the other one? Not TuneIn. TuneIn is the radio station. There's a lot. I just can't. I'll be honest with you. I cannot track them all. There's too many.
So you just I don't that we are actually streaming from because we do multi-streaming. We do about 12 platforms, and you just named about 3 or 4 of them that we actually are live on right now. Apple, 365, TuneIn. So it's not just IAXISRadio.com, Facebook, or Instagram that they're seeing and listening. They're also seeing us and listening to us on those platforms as well.
Oh, that's great.
Yeah, so, this is what IAXIS Radio does for the world. We reach people on places where people least expect. They just turn around and be like, yo! And we have people from Australia, people from Europe, Africa hit us up, and then on Facebook and Instagram, yo, I was watching your show, keep doing your thing. But that's what we want to do. We want to promote people from everywhere so that we could all be united and share the experience of this natural art called music. Thank you for allowing us to listen to your music and your craft and your good story.
That's great. Australia, I can imagine people like, good day, mate. I see Joe. Yeah. As soon as they let me know, I see the thing on these. Let me know when you're down my way. Like if everything goes well, the place will be in Lakeland. But everybody's like they're working on the schematics of bringing me down. It's like I said, that when it's a nonprofit, they have a limited or a very limited budget. So you got to work with that. And I try to be fair, and I try to work with everybody because I know, the big names are getting tens of thousands of dollars, and it's, they deserve it. They own it. They've been in this business, but yet organizers, they complain. But you continue to pay this particular female or this particular band $100,000, with that $100,000. And like I said, don't get me wrong, I'm not going to name names because I know most of them. But with $100,000, okay, you want to be, my show did the best because I brought in this person or this orchestra. But you got one person. With that kind of money, you could have gotten like 15 bands or artists and made it a lot better because now you have a variety. Instead of focusing on Bad Bunny, I'll say Bad Bunny because he's never going to play in the festival in New York, but they played Bad Bunny. You gave him $250,000. You could have had 30 bands Friday, Saturday, Sunday, a 3-day festival, and it would have made a nice venue. And people will remember the 30 bands. Oh yeah, he had 30 bands instead of the Bad. They'll remember Bad Bunny, but then people are gonna say, "Wow, they gave the outsider money, but they didn't look out for the And I'm saying with political too, they didn't look out for the local groups. But then when you're looking for your votes, you're looking for the locals to come and help you out, and they're gonna be like, "No, you paid Bad Bunny $500,000. Have this guy vote for you."
And that is going to lead into something that I'm drawing up.
You don't want to get into.
And no. It's something that I'm actually working on the works, what you just spoke about right now. I don't want to let too much out because I don't want to give mal de ojo to myself. But everything you're speaking on, I'm actually attacking. It's a plan that I've been having for a while. They're doing it in London already, but I'm going to adapt it in a way because in New York, we do it underground. All those underground people that play tunes, they get paid. by a budget, by city council. So there's something in the plans, and I'll speak to our publicist Rebecca. She'll reach out to you just like everybody else. That we're gonna need the support from everybody, and this is all for you guys. We're not gonna. Davon and I are not gonna benefit, but this is something that I want to bring to light in the future. We're all gonna have a meeting, and you're gonna see it. And you let us know if you're interested, because it's all for the artists to get benefit.
Right, and like I said, there's nothing wrong with having a big name. Like back in the day, if you remember Raf Mercado, he was like technically the brains, and people do relate to him. Right. And I'm gonna give you an example, because I was with Los Hermanos Moreno at the time they were with Raf Mercado. So when Los Hermanos Moreno started with them, of course they had to get their feet wet. So Raf Mercado said, "Well, you want Oscar de Leon? You want Celia Cruz? Taking Los Hermanos Moreno at a lower rate, of course." So let's say Celia charged 20,000 at the time. I don't even know. I'm just guessing, or 10,000, and then Tito Puente was another 10,000. Well, I'll sell you Los Hermanos Moreno at 5,000, or 3,000, or as an opener. That's what they should do. Have opening groups that they have their own proper music, not that Mataron al negro bebón. Everybody plays that song. Or en los años 1600, everybody plays that. Or let's say an up and coming artist. It doesn't have to be me, but I'm saying up and coming artist that has their own proper music, so that they can showcase it and they can introduce it to the public. Am I hitting nerves? I'm hitting it, right? I got it on the spot.
You're already on the vision. Don't talk too much. That's it. We already said we're gonna talk later. Okay?
Well, no, but like I said, and a lot of people are my followers. They know I'm straight out, because you need opportunity. Because when you go to a club, you go to a party, and I know both of you are gonna shake your head. Yeah, when you hear the DJ, what do they play? The same thing. Look. Yes, I agree. Exactly. People are gonna say it. You go to the same thing. What do they play? Alma cura, señores, y a veces me da. Yeah, okay, we understand. Frankie Ruiz was a legend. In fact, his brother, Viti, is my neighbor. He lives around the corner. And even Viti says, man, they want me to play my brother's songs. But I said, Viti, play your songs. If your back is towards the wall, you got to play your brother's songs. Play one. But show your songs, because you are not your brother. You are you. And you became you because of your songs. And he goes, yeah, but sometimes I said, well, if your back is towards the wall, play your brother's songs. There's nothing, nothing, you're getting paid, you're making a living. That's what you got to do. So, but it's not besides VT. But like I said, everybody's playing the old songs. Yeah, you go play one new, one old, one new, one old. We're not forgetting about the old. But the thing is, we're in 2020. We're going to go in 2026. And we're still listening to Una Aventura es más bonita. That's 1995, man, 96. That's 30, 40 years old already. Play something else. I don't even go to parties and dance because I can predict what the DJ is gonna play. And it like the word me quita el deseo that it takes the urge for me to dance. I don't. Oh, you want to dance? No, because that songs are burnt out. Sácala, llévale cine, tócale, that stuff. Play something new. So I'm like, whoa, let me do my thing,
They're like Davon was doing on Sunday. So let everybody know one more time where they can locate you.
All social media platforms, Spotify, if it's music, Spotify, Apple, etc., you could just look it up. YouTube, my music is on there too. It's anything with social media, Facebook, Instagram, TikTok. I don't do Twitter. It's too many platforms for me to try to manage. So I'm more on Facebook. It's easier. TikTok, I'm back and forth, and Insta, I bounce around. It's very difficult to try to do it yourself.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, thank you, Billy Crispo.
And thank you for the opportunity.
Absolutely, man. That's what we do. We're here. Thank you, Rebecca, for linking us up with Billy. Billy, I'm gonna be checking out your website and listening to those songs. And thank you for being a guest. And we look forward to meeting up with you in the future. And we're gonna be speaking about that. I would like for you to be a part of that thing I'm gonna draw up. Well, I have drawn up. I just need a group of people that are on board. So we'll talk more.
You got it.
So, my brother, how was the show?
Pretty good.
Very educational, right? From both artists? Well, an entrepreneur and an artist?
Right.
And the one thing I learned is money.
Right.
Money is what, makes things happen, right? If you ain't got the proper budget, if you ain't got the proper team, sometimes you could be your own team. You could be your one-person band, one-man band, or one-band man, But the thing is that together, we make that one band.
Yeah. Never mind. Never mind.
So we had a great time this weekend. Shout out to Tyler. We went to his graduation dinner.
Right.
His mother and stepfather invited us to Little Italy.
Oh, yeah.
And a lot of starch, right?
Nice
It was a nice restaurant. And they want what they tell them, what the owner told us.
You tell
the
them.
owner wants us, Big Al, to go there and stream live.
Yeah.
Right from there, because they have live entertainment from there.
Entertainment, and what I'm saying, we can actually, set up,
Yeah, so it's a situation that, we got to talk to you about. All right. Thank you, Joe Salcedo. Thank you, Jackie. Thank you, Billy. Thank you, All-Star.
Yeah.
Thank you, everybody who tuned into the show today and show love. Thank you to Tiana Vaughn Johnson, who is a true powerhouse. Thank you, Vilma. Your son is very talented. Thank you, Kathy. Thank you for showing love to our intern. And, we just want to say, thank you for supporting us. And we'll be seeing you. Oh, this weekend is the 116 Festival.
Okay.
And you also have the National Puerto Rican Day Parade. And then the week after, we have our parade.
Yeah.
All right. We have the Bronx Puerto Rican Day Parade.
Yeah, it's also Harlem Week. It's Harlem Week coming up.
Harlem Week as well.
Yeah, it's Harlem Week.
And for the whole entire month, thank you, Linda. For the whole entire month, gentlemen, it's men's mental health. They're trying to change it now to men's health because they want to encompass all physical and mental health. But, the reason why I highlight mental health is because we have a history of us men, not wanting to get therapy, not wanting to be counseled, we have this machista thing about us that we've gotten away from a little bit, but we still got a lot of work to do because us men have to go screen ourselves for all types of breast cancers, colon cancers, brain cancers, stuff that we choose to ignore. Ask for help because, you never know the person you're speaking to may be the person that saves your life. So if I learned something more today than I did yesterday, it wasn't a day wasted of life.
Live, love, love life. Take care of each other. Peace.
I wanna go with you anywhere, up to the moon and the stars. I just wanna go up. Baby, take me for a ride in the magic carpet. 747 glide through the clouds, baby, be my pilot. Hot air balloon, you're making me swoon, baby, that's what you do. You see all the mother fellas, they be trying, but they don't come through. Kind, patient, understanding. You give good kisses, hugging, squeezing. So I'm betting my cards on you. Keep doing what you do. Shit just like I like her. You're giving me good vibes, what's running through my mind. Every day I've been waiting for a lover like this to come through. babe.